Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 13. Tiryannagattujas Sarishtripadeva Daitya Martyadivih Parachitam Sadasat Vishesham Rupam Sabishtamajat Te Bajadadyanekam Natah Param Paramavetmi Nayatra Vadaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. My dear Lord, O Supreme Unborn, I know that the different varieties of living entities such as animals, trees, birds, reptiles, demigods and human beings are spread throughout the universe, which is caused by the total material energy, and I know that they are sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. But I have never experienced the supreme form I behold as I see you now. Now all kinds of methods of theorizing have come to an end. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He has spread Himself throughout the universe. But although everything is resting upon Him, He is aloof. The same concept is expressed here by Dhruva Maharaj. He states that before seeing the transcendental form of the Lord, he had experienced only the varieties of material forms, which are counted at 8.4 million species of aquatics, birds, beasts, etc. The fact is that unless one engages in the devotional service of the Lord, it is impossible to understand the ultimate form of the Lord. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati. Factual understanding of the Absolute Truth, who is the Supreme Person, cannot be obtained by any process other than devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj here compares his previous state of understanding with the perfection of understanding in the presence of the Supreme Lord. The position of a living entity is to render service. Unless he comes to the stage of appreciating the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he engages in the service of various forms of trees, reptiles, animals, men, demigods, etc. One can experience that one man engages in the service of a dog, another serves plants and creepers, another the demigods, and another humanity or his boss in the office. But no one is engaged in the service of Krishna. Aside from common men, even men who are elevated in terms of spiritual understanding are at the utmost engaged in the service of Virat Rupa or unable to understand the ultimate form of the Lord. They worship voidism by meditation. Dhruva Maharaj, however, had been blessed by the Supreme Lord. When the Lord touched his conch shell on Dhruva's forehead, real knowledge was revealed from him within. And Dhruva could understand the Lord's transcendental form. Dhruva Maharaj here admits that not only was he ignorant, but by years he was only a child. It could not have been possible for an ignorant child to appreciate the supreme form of the Lord had he not been blessed by the Lord, who had touched his conch shell to Dhruva's forehead. So Dhruva Maharaj, small boy, he is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So many times the question is asked, he is a perfect example of somebody who does not know anything as far as philosophy is concerned. Uneducated, illiterate, only 5 years old. So always a question is asked, when somebody is illiterate, uneducated, unsophisticated, rural, how can he understand Krishna consciousness? The philosophy of Krishna consciousness. In this case of Dhruva Maharaj, of course, he did not go through different sadhanas, but the Supreme Lord just touched him Parisparsha balam kripaya kapole kambuna. That's what it's mentioned here. Kritanjalim Brahma mayena kambuna parisparsha balam kripaya kapole. The Supreme Lord touched him on his head with the conch shell, by which the entire philosophy of Krishna consciousness was infused into him. Or he realized. It is not an infusion like an electricity infusion. Right? Many times people say, I was touched, I was embraced, and I got surcharged. With what? That's the question. If you get surcharged with Krishna conscious conclusions, then we will talk like Dhruva Maharaj. But that's a very rare situation where the Lord or pure devotees infuse Krishna consciousness. One has to be very, very fortunate to get Krishna conscious, the conclusions. So that is what is resulting in these prayers of Dhruva Maharaj. So these prayers of Dhruva Maharaj, if you kind of analyze it, write one line item. What are the aspects he is talking about? It is entire Bhagavatam, entire Gita, entire conclusion of the Vedas. So it's not difficult for uneducated, illiterate, simple people who do simple sevas to get knowledge. Because bhakti is always with two supporters, jnana and vairagya. Especially in Gaudiya system, we do not appreciate bhakti which is minus knowledge and minus vairagya. So Prabhupada always was against these bidi smokers, ganja smokers, in the dress of devotees. Morning they may do some sadhana, but then rest of the day. So there is no question of sense gratification and bhakti. In the sadhaka processes, there may be mishra bhaktis, there may be mixed bhaktis, kama mishra, jnana mishra, karma mishra. So these mixings are there. But when it's bhakti, when it is concluded, bhakti is concluded, then there is no mishra. But it is always supported by knowledge and vairagya. And knowledge has a younger brother, which is jnana, vijnana. Jnana has to convert it into vijnana. And jnana, vijnana, sahita. That is bhakti. So jnana, vijnana, vairagya, these are the basic angas of the character of a person who is a pure bhakti. So that comes about by the mercy of the Lord while one practices. Either one is a sadhaka siddha or a kripa siddha. A siddha one has to be. Pure one has to be. Now what are the characteristics of this purities? How does he look? How does he walk? How does he talk? Like Arjuna asked. Ka bhasha. How does he speak? How does he walk? What does he do? What does he speak? So the Krishna analyzes the whole thing. This is what he is. So that comes about in a practitioner at the mature stage. But without jnana and vairagya it is not possible. So simple people also get this vijnana. They may not have read, they may not know how to read. Like we know the story of that devotee of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so impressed by the devotee. Everybody is laughing at him as a person who is imitating, a person who is showing off bhakti, crying, holding Bhagavad Gita. So everybody knows, you're holding Bhagavad Gita, you're not even reading it, keeping it upside down. I don't know how to read. But I know one thing. If the Lord can be charioteer, driver of his devotee, what is his position? What is the level of his compassion? What is his broadness? Nobody can be more compassionate than the Supreme Lord, because just like we are compassionate to nobody other than ourselves. Right? My body, my stomach, my head, my moods, my mind, my ego, my this, my that, my this. Very much compassionate. We all belong to the Lord. So the Lord's compassion on himself is great. Because there is nothing in existence other than the Lord. When there is nothing in existence other than the Lord, the compassion of the Lord on his part and parcel is ultimate. So nobody can have that compassion that the Lord has. And that is bhakti. That's the conclusion of bhakti. All kinds of theorization finishes. When you see the Lord, if you are fortunate, or when you realize the absolute truth, there is no more confusions of any kind of theory. There is life only on earth. There is life nowhere else. Life is for this, life is for that. God is this, God is that. God is only one. God is three. God is many. God is everything. God is nothing. God is not there. All theories come to it. When one sees the Lord, or when one sees the Lord through his drishti, inner drishti. When you experience, Prabhupada said, so people ask, do you see Lord? I experience him every time, every minute. So when you are experiencing the Lord, it's as good as seeing the Lord, and all conclusions are there, and no more theories are needed. Just imagine Westerners, Prabhupada is going to the West, when there is this time of people going to moon and all the other scientific inventions going on. And Prabhupada says, they never went to moon. Or he says, there is life in all planets. There is life in moon, yes. There is life in sun, yes. Dhruva Maharaj knows life is spread everywhere. He is saying here. Trees, birds, reptiles, demigods, human beings are spread throughout the universe. But manifest, unmanifest. You go to moon and see, there are factories there are villages there is rice grown there is trees there. You can't see because they're unmanifest to your vision. Maybe. So this way, life is there everywhere. Conclusion. No research is needed. So these things are concluded when the Lord appears himself either in front of you or within you. Lord is there always within us. Antar bahishchatat sarvam vyapya narayana sthitaha. He is there. Whether we realize or not is a question. Not that he comes there when I want him to. No, he is always there. So Lord's presence is there everywhere. The question is that are you perceiving it or not? So the issue is in the receptacle, not in the object. Right? Just like a radar can sense. Sensors can sense. It may be there, may not be there, but sensors can sense it. Now are your senses sensing the Supreme Lord? Is it sharp enough? Is it subtle enough? Is it pure enough? That is the question. When the senses are all pure, when the inside and outside is all pure, when the vision is pure, when the consciousness is pure, when there is no trace of materialism, then there is only what is existing, there is spiritualism. It is not that spiritualism comes on top of materialism. No, spiritualism, spirit is always the actual existing factor. Matter is a question of superimposition. It comes manifest sometimes, unmanifest sometimes. It is there sometimes, not there sometimes. But spirit is always there. Of these conclusions, Dhruva Maharaj is coming. How is that? So bhakti is always associated with jnana and vairagya. So our bhakti, if it has to become mature, then jnana, vairagya. That is why there are rules and regulations to follow. by which vairagya can be cultivated step by step, little by little. There is Sastra Patana, which is required, where you gain knowledge. And then there is associating with this world, with that knowledge which is gained. Theoretical knowledge. This theoretical knowledge is applied when we relate with the outside world. When we use the theoretical knowledge in associating with the outside world, whether it is matter or it is living entities, two kinds of association we all have in the material world. One is with matter, things, other thing is living entities. These are the two things. You cannot hide from these two things. Hence Krishna says, first is, the verse he talks about Loshratma Kanchanaha. You see everything as one. Stone, gold, everything is same. It's all matter. The next one is, you have to see Samaya Drishtva. You have to see every living entities as same also. So these are the two objects we have. Matter and living entities. When we interact with these two things, when the knowledge is applied, that becomes Vijnana. That becomes a realization. That is called realized knowledge. So when we have realized knowledge within us, then realizing the Lord as an absolute truth is a matter of time. Like Prabhupada said in the previous verses, purport, it is a ripe mango or a sour mango. Mango is mango. And every sour mango or every unripe mango will become a ripe mango if you have plucked it in the right mature stage. There's an addition. You pick a green mango and keep it, never becomes ripe. Why? You plucked it in the wrong time. So if our activities and our trial and everything is becoming mature, then it's a question of time. Unripe to become ripe. Sometimes it never becomes ripe. So that is not because of the process, that is because of our immaturity, just like immature mangoes. Immature mangoes never ripens, it will go bad. It will just rot. So bhakti has to be matured. Either by the mercy of the Lord or by our endeavor or combination of both. We follow the system where the combination is both. There are two systems. One is what is called Markata, Marjara. The cat system and the monkey system. Do you know that? Which system do we follow? Cat or monkey? What is the cat system? The cat system is like the Lord takes care of me. I don't know anything. I don't do anything. Just like the kitten is carried by the rat, by the cat. Kitten is carried by the cat. Kitten has nothing to do. Whether the cat is jumping, running, sitting, he is holding me. If I fall and die, it's not my problem. That is one system of bhakti. Other system of bhakti is market, is the monkey system, where the baby monkey has to hold on tight to the mother monkey. If he loses grip, finished. Everything is on my head. I have to hold on. I have to do. I have to struggle. I have to do everything. So ours is a mix of these two things. Sometimes we have to be a monkey, sometimes we have to be a cat, kitten. So a baby monkey or a kitten. So this way, we have to get the mercy. So the process finally is the maturity. And now becoming a mature mango is on us. Making an unripe mango ripe is on the Lord. Right? He has his system. But to become mature is my endeavor. So it's a combination of these two things. So when we reach that stage, then as I said here, there is no confusion. There is no question of any kind of debate. No tarka. Tarko apratishtaha. Anyway, tarka cannot finalize what is truth, what is absolute truth. Only by following the great personalities, one can realize the absolute truth. Or even what is right and what is wrong at any given point of time. Because of the dynamism involved in different things. So when you say that he got knowledge means what? He got realization that it is the Lord who is existing everywhere. It is the Lord who is doing everything. It is the Lord whom we have to surrender to. It is not very difficult actually. To understand is not difficult, but to come to the point of understanding is difficult. It needs janma janmantra, lot of punyas, lot of sukritis, mercies. Then I come to a point of understanding. When I understand, then it is up to us whether I have to make that understanding mature or not. I can leave it as immature. Remain permanently in immature bhakti, which is also okay, good. But then you will always be shaky. You will always be doubtful. Should I go to ISKCON or should I go a little further and or reverse and U-turn and go to the south? So this doubt will be there until that maturity comes. The philosophy is strong, established, well established. That is why Bhagavatam is talking different leelas. Why is it talking about? Chatursloki Bhagavatam became 18,000 Bhagavatam. Right? 18,000 verses. Only 4 verses were there. Why is it? It is to reinforce, clear the doubts, showing through examples, showing through prayers, showing through the lives of different people. That is why Bhagavatam has 10 different aspects. Starting from creation. The Lord's external leelas, Lord's internal leelas, Lord's official leela, Lord's personal leela. You jump into Lord's personal leela, get confused. So the leela of the Lord maintaining this world is as important as his rasa leela. So hence understanding the 9 cantos of Bhagavatam becomes important. This is a way of maturing Bhagavatam. Of course, everywhere the conclusion is Brahma Nirvanam. Krishna says in Gita, one should get Brahma Nirvanam. How do you get Brahma Nirvanam? The only way is to get is by Brahmani Stitaha, Brahma Karmajam. These are the words Krishna uses in Gita. The karma has to be converted into Brahman. Our actions has to be converted into Brahman. Brahman adhaya karmani. So by this process, it concludes that Krishna is a Supreme Lord. There is absolutely no need to go to different sides. Generally, to understand spiritualism, 3 things has to be understood. This is what is called as Tattva-trayam. One has to understand 3 things. This is what the whole Vedas, whole Shastras, everything contains, explaining these 3 things. If these 3 things are understood, then one as per the parampara, then one is perfect. One's knowledge is perfect. One can have the 3 tattvas, 3 principles. What are those 3 principles? If you understand these 3 things, then you understood everything. This is knowledge. Prakriti, Jiva, Purusha. This is Tattva-trayam. If these 3 things are understood, what is this material world? What is this creation? What is the Supreme Lord? Who is the Supreme Lord? What is his attributes? Who am I and who is everybody else? These three things has to be understood. So Bhagavatam, the entire philosophy talks about these 3 things. And if these 3 things are understood, then there's nothing more to understand. And there is no more confusion. Bhakti is always mature. So knowledge gaining follows bhakti. We don't have to separately endeavor. Why? Because when we act according to Krishna consciousness, in the sense when we make our actions Brahman, when we make our actions spiritual, by what? By not being proprietor of what you do, but not thinking you are the doer. You always dependent on the Lord. Mahamanusmar Yudhyacha, by thinking of the Lord and then doing our activities. This way, our activities become spiritual. And as and when our activities become spiritual, what is the result? Knowledge. And not only just theoretical knowledge, that is realized knowledge. That is what is needed to become mature, to make our bhakti mature. So there is no question of unconscious activities in Krishna consciousness. It is good, but to mature, we need to be very consciously conscious of the Supreme Lord while we perform activities. That is most important. And all kinds of activities are spiritualized. Starting from the daybreak morning, we start, every activity we do can be spiritualized because it is centered around satisfying Krishna. When our activities and our desires are not for satisfying Krishna, but to satisfy ourselves, then maturity doesn't come. This is why sometimes chanting and years and years in Krishna consciousness, maturity doesn't come because it is not applied properly. So consciously giving up proprietorship. Like we were saying, somebody was asking, we do devotional service, then we feel envy, we feel competition, we feel somebody else is doing better than us. All these things which we come across, everybody comes across these things. It's just a question as how intense it is. Some people it's very intense, some people it's not very intense. Some people can get over it fast, some people cannot get over it fast. Being a proprietor, being a boss, being lording over. Krishna says, don't lord over, don't be proprietor. When we utilize all these things, then these kind of thoughts and these kind of natures will subside. It's material nature in a human being, because he is made to think about himself, because the world is made for self-defense. I need to exist. That is the principle in which the world is created. So always our first action is defend myself. Bodily, physically, mentally, anything we do, I didn't do. Anything wrong we did, I didn't do. Or anything happens because of something else. But rarely we apply it on ourselves. So when we give that up while doing action, how do we give up these things? Simply by sitting and meditating, you don't get an opportunity to apply these principles. That is why action is important. When I go out and talk to people, when I go out and do some work, then I need to interact. And social interactions produces the results of one's karma. Where does karma fructify? If you're just sitting, karma doesn't fructify. Yeah, something can come and fall on top of you. But otherwise, karma fructification can only happen when you interact. And that is why again, association is important. Because when you interact, then all these things comes up. All the muck which is settled nicely, become a thick, sedimented rock. We are here churning it every day by chanting, every day by doing devotional service. All these things comes up. It has to be taken out. So opportunity for purification, opportunity for maturing can happen only when there is activity. So one should understand the purpose of activity rather than getting lost in the activity. So when we do the activity for the sake of activity, but the primary purpose is to mature in bhakti so that I can realize. That is the main aim. That is why a practical place of existence and a practical form of transforming our actions from morning till night into bhakti is very important. Hence the importance of this organization. Hence the significance of what Srila Prabhupada has done. See Prabhupada's activities. 11 years. He ran the organization, the supreme head of $1 million organization. And he's sitting saying, I have nothing. Right? Not just like that, but nothing. He doesn't identify with anything that he has made. Right? It's not easy to imitate these things or fake these things. Because if I am identifying with what I am doing, and if I am lording over what I have, and I am acting as a sense of proprietor on what all I deal with, the result is anxiety. Not spiritual anxiety, I'm talking about material anxiety. Anxiety which creates material issues. Peacefully if you are doing things, it's a sign that you are not. Both, it can be a sign of real manda, or it's a sign of real spiritualism. So, to be peacefully doing devotional service in the midst of 101 activities and issues to deal with, one doesn't get sucked into that if we are only here to Brahmanadaya Karmani. So that's the way of maturity. Here, Dhruva is very fortunate. He realizes everything. After realizing, the Lord didn't say, come sit behind Garuda, let us go. He didn't say that. He made him sit here, made him the emperor. He became a big Raja Rishi. A lot of activities. Of course, promise was there. Dhruva Kshitihi. You will have a planet which will never be destroyed, called Dhruva. Very, very rare situation. But there are a lot of things for us to learn from this, which gives us an opportunity to mature our devotional service by applying these things in our day-to-day activity. We'll stop. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, when we do something like in devotional service only, so many times it happens that, sometimes it happens that we get immediate reciprocation from the Lord, right? In less duration of time. And very often...
Can you give me an example where you got a reciprocation of the Lord?
I
don't know. I don't get so asking.
No, I mean, if we act in some way, like same thing would happen to us same day or next day or onwards, and we realize, oh.
You mean to say your certain things are fulfilled, your desires are fulfilled?
Not really. I mean, let's say some action we did to some other devotee, or let's say in japa only, right? So immediately, like, we will feel that, okay, this is wrong.
Realizations. Okay. Understood.
Some, like, in a very short period of time, right? And when very often it happens to me personally that it takes a long time, right? So it means that our faith is tested and stretched apart.
Our
faith. And dependency on Lord is tested and stretched apart. So in that situation, very often we get unstable. Like, is it not working, or am I not working in the right way, or like what is happening? So how do you understand this, bro?
These internal thoughts are happening because we keep ourselves as a center of everything, including knowing. We come to make the Lord the center of everything. But somehow, because of our practice and the experience and our nature, we make ourselves as a center of everything. Which means, if I feel happy, Krishna consciousness is happening. If I realize, Krishna consciousness is happening. If I succeed, Krishna consciousness is happening. If I get what I think, Krishna consciousness is happening. That is wrong. Our attention always has to be on the Lord. I am doing things to please the Lord. Now, whether I am actually feeling safe, secure, because all these things are all on the mental platform, because we are not purified, senses are not pure, mind is not pure, enough maturity has not come. So anything hovering, our thoughts hovering over all these comparison, am I there, am I there, am I there, all this is nothing but sense gratification. If you sit and think properly, you'll understand. Somebody is sitting and, sulking. What do you tell him? Is he enjoying or is he suffering? He is enjoying. He is enjoying his sulking. I have nothing, I have nothing, I have nothing. I only. I don't feel happy, I don't feel happy. We came to make Krishna happy. Why are you thinking of our happiness? This is the biggest mistake we make. So we need to always correct those things. Don't keep ourselves as a center of anything to measure our anything in Krishna consciousness. Never look, not have a subjective look always. I may be happy one day because of my karma. Next day I am finished. We go up and down like this each day. Not only each day, every day, morning, afternoon, evening, every minute Krishna says there is this competition between Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And the overlying karma which he has gained, which has to fructify. Everything is happening in the material platform. So we need to disengage ourselves from that happening. We need to disengage ourselves from that platform entirely by concentrating on a higher platform. That is why Prabhupada has never given you techniques of bhakti. What has he said? Please Krishna. Finish. So make the center, take us away from us the center and put it on Krishna. Otherwise what happens? We become very choosy in our service. I don't feel good. Today I will not sing. If you have fever, okay. No, I feel good, I don't feel good. My name is there for do that particular seva. I do the seva. Today I don't feel good. Today's Bhagavatam class was very boring. Today's class was super excellent. This is all your feeling. Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam. Doesn't go up or down. So when we are always looking at, this man talks. No, this is the reason when we hunt for people to hear from different people. Why? Not to glorify Krishna, but to get rasa. To get enjoyment while hearing. What is it? I enjoy. People say, did you enjoy? This is what many people say, did you enjoy? Right? You went somewhere. What will the parents ask? Did you have a good time? So we come here also to have a good time. Without knowing that good and bad times both are bad. We have come here to give up the good time and the bad time. And we are here to create a good time for the Supreme Lord. Is the Lord fed? Is the Lord's food prepared properly? Is the Lord's place kept clean? Is the Lord's bhandar full? Is Lord's property intact? Are many people coming and take part in the Lord's program? The Lord has to be the first word in our thinking. But unfortunately, I is only one coming and thinking, my service, Prabhu, I want to change my service. All these kind of thoughts, everything happens because we miss this point. Of course, gradually we realize all these things. That is the beauty of this process. We realize all these things step by step. But if you're consciously knowing these things, if you associate and understand and learn this art of doing from others who have already done it, then it becomes easier. So, shifting the center, this particular word, shifting the center from us to Krishna, involves all the process of bhakti. Then we do action as a duty. Whether we are collecting, whether we are building, whether we are success, we are not success, because Krishna is not here to give you success. Krishna is here to give you Krishna consciousness, right? But we somehow, the parameter is success for us. Of course, that is only parameter we have. Tomorrow somebody will say, Prabhu, I am full of bhakti, why should I go out at all? Your bhakti is gauged by how much endeavor you do. And the endeavor is gauged by all the targets, all this, all that we have. That's the only way to measure your endeavor. How do you measure endeavor? Because the insides cannot be measured by anybody, only Krishna knows. My abilities in doing this service. I am my nature. Engage me by nature. My nature is material. What will you engage? Do anything. So all these excuses we say for management, for not following, you are unsatisfied. Nobody can help you. If you are unsatisfied, only you can help yourself. Change of external things are all temporary. Our nature will carry in every situation, and our nature is what is troubling us. We need to realize that it is not the service, it is not the Prabhus, it is not the temple, it is not the situation which is giving me trouble. I am giving trouble to myself. I who? Like Rupa Goswami says, we are full of pishashi iti vartyate. We are full of ghost inside. And this ghost are playing a havoc inside. And I'm identifying with me, all them as me. It is not me actually. When I start disassociating with me and my thoughts, good or bad, then bhakti starts. Then maturity starts. So all these problems get solved. As you said, we don't have to measure. We need to only, these things are okay, you need to sit and evaluate and all those things, okay. But not in the sense of we do in our material profession. Then we get into trouble. We are here to surrender. I feel good, surrender. I had to chat 16 rounds, surrender and chant. I had to go out for 8 hours and do my work, surrender and do it. So this kind of an attitude will make us mature. We are talking about, yes, everything is good. But do you want to mature faster? Do you want to make your... So that is the only thing in our hands. How much tivrena we can do things. With what intensity can we do? That is in our hands. Nothing else is in our hands. So without getting lost in the details of the activities, if you are concentrating on the center of the activity, which is pleasing Krishna, Guru and Krishna, Sadhu, Guru, Krishna. They are the Mr. Sadhus, we organize, nobody is perfect. You might say, well, there is a committee, there is something, decision, he does this, he does that, he does that. Now you sit and question, what is his right to put my name there? Nobody can help you. It's a bad system in the material world, but you use best of the bad bargain. You make a system, you make a committee, you make a collection, you organize a festival, and you do. Go to the details of the festival, you will find 101 problems. Like Krishna says, every fire in this material world comes with smoke. You want to only smell the smoke? No problem. Do it. You want to get connected to the fire and get the warmth? It's for you. Every action in the material world is fraught with problems. So externals, if you get, point of saying is that we don't get lost with the externals. Externals will never be perfect. But the internal is perfect. And that is all Prabhupada wants to do. And that is why he has created this organization. In spite of so many material limitations you can pinpoint. If you are here to research, you can make a dictionary of all the problems. Right. But if you are here for Krishna, then point here is that anyway we have spent time, 24 hours a day, 24/7. We have given up everything and come. Might as well do it properly. That's all. Did I answer?
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, it is said that we are pleasure being and like Satchitananda. So Ananda means we are always seeking for pleasure. Even while having prasadam, we are conscious that this is prasadam. But in that also we see that this is the prasadam which I like. So until unless I like certain activity, how can we do that?
Yeah, it's a point. What makes you to like? What makes us to like Krishna consciousness? My past. So if I don't like, let me build up my liking possibilities. At least for next lifetime. Krishna says, what is that verse? Karma. Prapya punya. And here. Krishna says that if you have so much punya accumulated, then your devotional service is with strong determination. Got the verse?
Prapya punya kritam lokanushitva.
Not that. Esha tvantagatam papam jananam punya karamnam te dvanta moha nirmukto bhajanti mam dridhavataha. Tve dvanda moha nirmukta. You need to be free from this dvanda. Pleasurable, not pleasurable. Tasty prasadam, not tasty prasadam. Good things, bad things. Liking things, not liking things. All these dvandas. The dvandas, you can be free from the dvandas prapya if you have punya. Te dvanda moha. So you can be free from these dualities, liking, not liking, only by having punya. So if we think that is why in the beginning stages, we need to have nice prasadam, eat full prasadam, but can you do this after 30 years? You cannot say that I am leaving this organization because prasadam is not tasty. Right? But in the day one I came, I can't stay eat this. It becomes very repulsive for him. So in the beginning stages, yes, a little bit of sugar coating may be needed, but you don't expect sugar coating always, because you have gone beyond that. You are supposed to have gone beyond that. You are supposed to have gone beyond these dualities of what is good, what is bad. Basic things are necessary, because there's no question. There are certain things. Every day there is too much salt in the prasadam. Got to change the cook, right? No point in anything else. So, but we don't insist. Only then I can do. This in the beginning stage may be needed. Prabhupada also. These are the things sometimes people don't understand. The beginning days, everybody was talking to me. Everybody was very nice to me. Nobody is even looking at me. Very common things we hear this. The beginning days, you get some support, you get some extra things. All this is needed to make that favorable kind of an environment. But we don't always depend on this favorable. We have to go beyond that spirit. We need to get more connected to the spirit. Okay, prasadam is bad. What to do? Every reaction has a cause. So my problem of prasadam has some cause. Maybe I also cooked wrong for somebody in my previous life, and I'm getting the reaction now. Who knows? I was a cook somewhere, and I created trouble for somebody's stomach. Today my stomach is getting affected. But we need to deal with these things if it is a regular affair. Once in a while something happened, we cannot depend on those things as a point of rejection or acceptance. But finally, everything is self-centered. So what was the original question? Taste.
Like we are pleasure beings.
Pleasure. Yeah. So our pleasures have to go up. Or we need to find pleasure in the spirit rather than the pleasure in the bodily comforts. In the beginning, bodily comforts are important. But in the end, bodily comfort is there or not there, it doesn't become a very important. You come, you bring some 10 devotees, they say we're ready to join. Take them to your room, dirty room, full of bed bugs. You say, Sarvadharman Parityaja, lie down on the bed with bugs. He will run away. Morning, all 10 will go away. But I went somewhere for service and there's no place to stay. There's one kachara place. Do something. Try to take some rest and continue our service. Prabhu, you send me to that place. There is a lot of bed bugs. I'm giving up Krishna consciousness. So our pleasures are required, but they are required more in the beginning stage when we are kanishta. Later on, our pleasure points are higher things than those connected to the body. In the beginning, yes, our pleasure points are connected to the body and mind. Later on, our pleasure becomes internal. When that becomes, then we are dvanda mukta. You don't care for the goodness or badness of anything. I concentrate on the principle of Krishna consciousness, of serving Krishna, giving pleasure to Krishna. And when you gradually keep giving pleasure to Krishna, since we are Satchidananda, part and parcel, automatically pleasure comes to us also. So that is when we are really in the stage of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, no sochati, no kankshati. So sochati and kankshati are the two things are there in the beginning, but they should eventually disappear. That is what's supposed to happen. So you need to have a balance between the necessities and the actual principle. Necessities cannot overpower purpose for which we are here. But necessities are equally important also. Sometimes the spiritual master says, or the sadhu says, no, you stay here only for some days. These are tests. Don't think that we can mature our bhakti without test. Sometimes you may be associating some senior Vaishnava, so many things are happening. One day he gives a totally ulta rule. He is not good. No. We are supposed to, some testing is going on. Maybe also. Anybody who is giving shelter to us has a right to test us. Prabhupada is giving shelter. He has every right to test. And testing means it is difficult. So we take these things in the right spirit. But every day somebody is giving you trouble, then there is some problem. Then you have to go to the management aspects. Otherwise, difficult. What does Krishna says? Everything that you give away, everything that you eat, every difficulty you do, every tapasya you do, everything, do it as a offering unto me. So we need to consider these difficulties as an opportunity to give it back to Krishna, offer it to Krishna. So maybe that's an opportunity to do that. But if every day it happens, then it's not. There's some issues. So we need to know what is management issues to be corrected. What is the... Hello? I'm just finishing. Right? Anything else is okay? Last time, better stop.
Krishna Prabhu, particular prasadam, if we are not able to take it regularly, we are getting distaste for that. Is it problem with us or?
No, it's a problem in your stomach.
Stomach.
You'll have to deal with that. If every day it's happening.
No, I don't like it. Some prasadam.
Not bodily problem. Then it's a mental problem.
If I put to the mouth, it may, different taste it may give.
Everybody is feeling that or only one person is feeling?
If I feel, I'm asking that.
And there is no bodily problems?
Bodily problems is not there. Only.
Then it's a serious issue.
So shall I mention that prasada name also? Can I mention?
No, don't go into details. We are here. That to take it up with the ashram head.
It's my.
No, the issue is we need to solve that issue. So either you have to solve by your changing your internals, or you have to solve by your externals. So if there is some, we have to know prasadam, and prasadam anna dilavaya, Krishna has given it mercifully to us. Krishna has tasted this. So if there is a cooking problem, it can be handled managerially. If there is a body problem, it has to be handled medically. If there is some other problem, then you have to handle it spiritually. Spiritually, take some help and try to change your vision. Or avoid it. If one particular item is always bad for you, avoid it. Committing offense at prasadam is also a serious thing. So we should not do that. That is why it says when you eat prasadam, you don't complain. Even if some problem is there in the prasadam, you note it and then you go and talk to the right person about it. Making and commenting and making a prajalpa about it doesn't help. It will only avoid my bhakti. It will only reduce my bhakti. So we need to be very carefully deal. So you talk to the right person and see some changes can be done. The change is not even happening, what to do? These are all practical problems. 200 people are eating prasadam. According to whose taste will the cook make? Right? Srimad-Bhagavatam ki Srila.